Gale, uh, and gain the affection of Natara, and so is singing various songs to try to get her attention while desperately trying to make eye contact. And she is trying to stay as busy as possible, and it seems to be succeeding quite well. Um, Other things that are happening inside the tavern. Actually, you know what? I'll just go to the notes. Um, so these are some of the things that are currently happening inside the tavern right now. And what we're going to have for the at least the first hour is going to be being able to interact with the various things that are happening inside the tavern, to be able to get some understanding of the of some of the NPCs in this area. So you all have been at the tavern for a while. You've started to pick up on various clues of things that are happening. For example, um, you can have watched as some of the barmaids are being harassed by the patrons of the kind of the warrior class of both the wolf and the bear clan, and starting to get more and more touchy, more and more persistent in some of their interactions with the barmaids, and becoming disrespectful. You watched as Ithia had come down the stairs from her room and snapped to her dog, uh, Silverfang, to go and do some pre-assigned task, and he walked over to uh, Valka and asked him discreetly to follow him, and they have gone over into the far eastern room over here and are having a conversation and have shut the door, um, which is odd because you can tell just by the way that Valka is dressed that he is not a member of the Wolf Clan, but he has also not been a member of the or not been in the land in the lands of the Bear Clan very often either. He seems to be just a permanent inhabitant often of the tavern. He has his well worn bar stool that he consistently sits at. But what was interesting is when you came in the last time, he was incredibly intoxicated, which is normal, but he seems fairly sober right now. There is a friendly arm wrestling contest that's going on, but it's starting to become more and more heated. And Gothi is uh, sitting by herself and muttering to herself and seems distressed. She's holding a glass or a leather cup of what seem to be dice or bones or stones that she continues to um, be frustrated by and muttering, and that's usually what she's used to do some kind of divinations and things like that, but seems frustrated and distressed. Um, there's also that you can hear rumors being spread around about the magical heroes, and more people are starting to call for a demonstration of some of the powers that they've heard about, because they're not quite sure that they believe it, and other patrons that were actually there at the battle are asking for something to happen. Also of note, one, while you are with the other individuals that were there during this battle, they all seem to um, keep their distance from you, but you don't notice any any hostile eyes at this time, and they seem to be very interested in Emmerich and seem to make assumptions. For those, you can hear some of the whispers. Oh, he must be from the southern lands as well, with the animal folk. I haven't seen one of that type before, but he seems to be, I don't know, part grasshopper, I think. I don't know, praying mantis. And so they haven't really made the connection of you being one of the ancient species. Does anyone have any questions about kind of what's going on in the tavern right now? You're muted if you're trying to talk, Billy.
No,
we're
a lot going on, lots to pick from. We're excited.
Jesus. Yeah.
Why does it keep doing that?
So I think maybe, I'm not sure, but are either one of you also using the audio chat feature in Roll20. Go
That is
to,
likely it.
I don't know if it is. It's a little
That's what
obscure,
did it
but
to me that one time. That could be that.
if you go to my settings and the cogwheel of Roll20 in the top
Is it
right,
better now?
Nope, still
you
doing
can still hear it a little bit.
I
Billy
muted
muted
myself
roll
in
20.
20.
Nope.
Nope.
Well, I would say it is worth the time that it will take to troubleshoot this, because then we'll
Yep.
solve it and
Before
we'll
we get started.
Well, I mean, even, we'll solve it for future games and stuff like that. So it's time well spent.
All right, one more time.
Can
Better?
you hear me? How we
Can
doing?
you
Is it
hear us?
Nope,
No.
alright, yeah.
So it's happening. It's happening slower though. So whatever it is that it didn't happen as quickly as it did the first time.
If you both are logged into Roll20 on two different computers, make sure you both go to the audio video cogwheel, and others can hear or see none. I can hear or see none under audio video.
So I see Billy
Or you
as
know
being,
what? If
being muted.
Press one more time.
So
maybe
It's actually Cassie that needs to mute.
you think it's the two instances of StreamYard, like on two different computers? Or is it
there's
or is it
one.
only no, it's only one. Okay. So how is it catching feedback to itself?
I'm wondering if they have a speaker set on besides their microphone.
I think that's a no.
Cassie, that is a no, but you don't have to get lippy with me. I'm trying to help. I am number 1. You're number 2 in my book.
Number 11.
you just watch eating those chips.
Not eating any chips.
I think in game right now, one reaches out to Lorathian, and so you hear like the mic turn on in your because I speak one speaks telepathically, right? So when the connection turns on, maybe it sounds like a mic turn on, and then you just hear say, one would like one of the beverages that are being drank. One is apprehensive to go to the bar and ask for one.
Who are you talking to when you say this?
He's talking to
Lorathian.
you.
I can get you a drink.
Thank you.
And I turn to the bartender and say, well, what do you want to drink?
I imagine people are drinking. I mean, it's a northerner area, right? Are they drinking mead? What's served on tap here?
Well,
So
they had Elven wine because I got served that last game. So
Nice. Okay. One would like what one mostly gets.
one of your finest ales is what I would say to the bar maid.
You just see I click my mandibles together twice.
Tom, is there the ability for me to mute another player?
Well, the thing is
don't-
if they go to their audio video settings and say others can hear or see none,
So did I.
I did all of that,
Me
and so
too.
did Billy.
so there shouldn't be an
But
audio.
Billy can mute his, and when I hover over mine, I can't mute myself. And that's
I can't mute myself in there.
Yeah. How did you mute yourself, Billy?
I just hovered over the
he
bottom.
hovered over it.
This didn't happen last time. I wonder.
That's what I was thinking just now.
It didn't happen last time, so It's something different, something that you guys have done different since then. I don't know what it would be though. Were you muted last time, Cass, and he was unmuted, or is this how it was last time? I can't remember.
Were you using headphones though?
No, it was just the same as what we're doing right now.
Well, you didn't feedback there just now.
Just now. Wait, hold on. It usually takes a few minutes. Oh,
It's
fixed.
just Billy. It's Billy being in the room.
You know, if he comes back in and it happens, it's got to be feedbacking off of his phone or something stupid like that.
no.
No,
That is interesting.
that's really weird.
Wow. That's
Sorry, guys. That was
No.
pretty.
No. I was looking to have just a problem-solving type of opening to the session. I didn't realize it was going to be technical difficulties. I was thinking it was going to be part of the story that I prepared. But hey, either way, as long as we're collectively problem-solving, it's an enjoyable experience.
Is Matt Smith not playing at all then?
I know.
No, he has not. He has not said anything in the chat because I keep waiting for him to say something or mention something. I may reach out to him directly and just be like, hey, we could work you in, but he has not.
A little late now, though.
And
It can be.
and Chris is going to just be on late today, right?
Right.
He's on his way. He's hustling here.
Oh, so is it working?
It's working for whatever reason. We don't know.
Cool.
Nothing changed.
Well, you know what I did? I did do something.
What did you do?
I think I know what's up. For whatever reason, I have the ability on my computer to mute Cassie in Roll20 for me. So I muted my own token.
And then you
I
muted
went
my
and
token?
muted her.
That's what's
Oh.
causing it. That's what's causing it.
But we're back again.
What if
We
I'm-
started having the feedback there a second ago.
Seems the closer I get, the more it happens. Watch this.
Just you.
Like,
Hold on.
all of a
Hello,
sudden-
hello. Oh
And then if I
my
go away-
God.
It
This
is
is
Billy's
crazy.
fault.
It's crazy.
What is that? Thank you.
It's the magnetic attraction.
Ah,
Go sit down with your buddy.
so that's weird, but okay. I'll just be over here.
But it's never happened before.
I have no idea why this works. All right, I don't know.
Wait, get closer and speak again.
Look,
It's gonna happen.
all I'm saying is that it starts building the closer I get, but it seems like we're doing okay now. Yeah,
Wait.
no, we're good. I have no idea. But I muted Cassie in my instance of Roll20 and it seemed to help. Does it show her as muted? Like, you can see my pink muted button.
It does not show her as muted.
It
I
shows it
can't
on
mute
mine.
myself. Oh, it's happening again.
I didn't even realize you could do that. So we're way out of my depth.
Hey, can you check to make sure under your audio settings for StreamYard that you have the echo cancellation actually checked?
I muted Jenkins too
Hold on. Echo
in
cancellation.
Roll20.
Where?
No, in StreamYard under
Oh.
settings, and then under audio.
Yeah, you got it.
I got it.
And now it's worse.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I went into the kitchen and still doing it.
That's super frustrating.
I unclicked it and
You ever
clicked it
know?
again. Nope.
River knows.
That's super weird. I almost
don't
want to
like
say
that at
get
all.
out and come back in and see if it fixed the problem. Reboot.
Yep, that's what she's doing right now. All right. Well, we're just giving Chris more time to also be able to participate.
Again,
In the-
I think Tom is right. Fix this now so we know for later.
Mhm. In the meantime, you promised a beverage.
And I ordered it from the maid. I'm just waiting. You will get a beverage, I promise. So
I just
DM,
cl-
are you the maid?
Just click twice.
Yep. So what's interesting is Sonny comes out. He's been moving back and forth. I'll show you what he looks like here. So Sonny, a
I see him.
very gregarious individual who seems to be a little bit slow in
Captain
every way,
Spike
other
Page.
than the way that his hands are able to
Here.
move quickly in preparing food and preparing beverages. But he's like, oh, you guys are back. Hold on 1 second. And he goes back into the kitchen and comes back out, and he has this silken scarf, okay? And comes over, already anticipating that one wants a drink, has a drink in his hand, sets it down in front of one, and then turns to and says, "Here, I noticed there was a gentleman that said that this would help keep you warm since you're since you're a southerner. This will help keep you warm up here in the north." And without recognition of physical boundaries or anything, comes in and places the scarf around your neck,
Me or Tom?
Tom. It's a one.
Wow. One
And
is
then-
one
and then he says-
immediately assumes there's something going on, something wrong.
Yep. So he's like, "Yep." The guy said that you would probably need that up here, and then I promised him that I would give it to you, and so Sonny's done his work, and I got to get back to work. And he goes
Sonny,
back out to the
before
kitchen.
You,
You see
before
him
you
moving.
run, we would.
Have
love
you
a
ever
drink.
tried to stop a server that is moving way too fast? He has moved back into the kitchen and is continuing to work with. You might be able to get his attention later.
Well,
Who's this
can-
chick across the table
can I
from me?
can I still see them?
Who? Sonny or
Sonny, who put the scarf on around my neck.
you can. You can catch him through the swinging doors of the kitchen every once in a
Okay.
while.
I'll
And then
open
there is
yeah. I'll
there
open
is
a
Mama
telepathic
across the
connection
balcony.
with them.
Okay.
I just open it. That way I can use it later.
Okay. So you see him kind of like look up as if he's kind of checking the wall because he's like, "Oh, dying rats again." He just heard some crackling and it sounded like something moving around. And Mama is sitting across the bar there, and she's looking kind of puzzled. She's like, "I don't believe we've had any other visitors. What? Did he say that somebody told him to give it to you?" And she's looking at you, one.
Yeah, I'll open a conversation with them as well. That's Mama Yuki, and I'll open a conversation with them, and I will very cautiously say, one does not know who they are referring to, but one is pleasantly surprised by the welcome.
Now, what do you think that it feels like for these telepathic connections? Is it easily apparent?
Honestly, I think it feels like ASMR.
So it feels like you're whispering to them,
Yeah,
even though you're still that distance away.
Yeah, it kind of
Right.
feels like a warm whisper, like not a soft whisper, like not a whisper that's mostly hushed tone, but more just like a soft, quiet voice, as if I'm standing right next to you.
Right. And the thing is that it's kind of like me having my earbud in right now. And no matter where I walked, I'd be able to hear you the same. So if you were actually talking to me through this earbud, it would be a disconcerting experience. Like, it's obvious that you're across the room, but I can still hear you right inside my ear, right?
Mhm. Yeah,
So she does look
the
over
only
to
thing
you.
that visually happens on one's face is that after one is done speaking, they click their mandibles together twice in what I have established to be the affirmative.
Okay. So she does move up to you and leans in a little closer, and she says, "You're a little bit different, aren't you?" I mean, he's different. I can tell. And she points over at Emmerich, who's over by Vera right now. But she's like, "You're different too, aren't you?"
In response, one will use its chameleon carapace, and
Okay.
and the face that you can see a little bit of as I'm covered up mostly, changes now to match the wooden interior of the tavern, instead of like almost a subtle change from like the woods and dirt we were in before.
Got it. So she kind of smiles at the display and she says, "Now, anybody that comes through the north, they all come through Mama's Tavern here. So I have seen all kinds of strange characters come in and out of here, and every single one of them gets a nice hot meal and a cold beverage to take away the sting of travel in these northern parts. But I have never seen someone like you. Now, if anybody gives you a hard time, you let Mama know, because and as long as you don't give anybody a hard time, you're going to be just fine." And what's your name, son?
One.
Okay, another drink. Yeah, hold on. Natara, another
No.
one for this guy. And your name?
No, mama. One is my name. And I'm clearly struggling with how to form this sentence, but I get there. Like how to detach one and occupy it. So I say one is my name.
We had this same problem with an Elvish from your play. Your name. What was your name again? And looks over at you, Lotharian. Is he still? Laura, are you there?
Sorry, my headset went out. What'd you say?
We can hear him talking when he's not muted.
You can hear me talk. Hang on.
You can hear him. Maybe this is where the feedback comes from. There's a hidden back channel. Jenkins
So,
has a microphone
Jenkins-
in your home.
Jenkins, do you have a? Aha. Do you have? Yes, you have your
Okay.
microphone on, so you need to go to
It's-
your settings.
Okay, go to my settings and go to audio, video.
Wait, in Roll20?
Yep.
I'm at.
Hear him through
Well, you can turn off both outbound and inbound audio by choosing none on both.
Audio. I have none and none.
Does
Hmm.
Billy also have none and none? Yes. All right. Now let's all turn our microphones on and make sure and see if the feedback is still here. I think he said yep.
I'm still on. So I've got none and none there. What else do I need to do? Is this not Roll20, but maybe this program that you use, Nick, that I need to go into the settings?
StreamYard.
StreamYard?
Um,
'Cause I have
make sure that yeah, I would go into your settings and make sure that your
I've chosen
headset.
speakers, Logitech wireless headset.
There's a
Okay.
feature in my audio called echo cancellation that is on. That's pretty
Okay,
cool.
good.
Can you guys still hear me?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay. So echo cancellation's on for me.
Yeah.
Automatically adjust mic volume, that's on. I have the default mic through the Logitech, and I have the speaker communications through Logitech. Let me close that. Try it now, Billy. See if it still does it. I'm gonna mute and see if I'm totally baffled. I don't know what else.
So when you're
How?
muted, I couldn't hear you just a second ago.
Yes, but Billy could.
We could, and I'm
Billy,
assuming it's
you can still
something-
hear me perfect.
So none of us can hear him. So there is.
How in the world is that a possibility? I don't have a clue.
But that has happened before,
It has.
where they've been able to hear you. So
I have
there is
nothing
something-
turned on except default. Okay, I've got.
My spy camera theory gets stronger and stronger. He has a nanny cam in y'all's house, and somehow it just went two-way. Well, one would die for Mama Yuki.
So she kind of goes through and starts to give you some information about the different people in the bar, but she's usually referencing some of the commoners and just kind of making small talk. Oh, so that guy over there, he's Frank. He had the worst experience with one of his sheep. You won't believe it. It actually, and just is going off about different mundane stories of life and funny stories about individuals. Not any of the big players, other than she continues to cringe every time Tipple continues to play. He is. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say,
Very
Tip-
epic on our end, by the way.
say what?
When Nick's talking, it's like super echoey.
So
Can you hear
it's super
Nick?
echoey for.
Can you hear Nick
for-
through two different sources?
Yeah, so there is definitely. It's definitely where you can hear me, but not through StreamYard. You're hearing me through something else as well. Chris, we need you to figure out exactly what's going on with the echo
Yeah.
problem
You got to troubleshoot this stuff.
that we're having.
Right now.
All right, I am speaking now. How are we
No?
doing? How's it sound?
Hey,
How
pretty
am I?
promising.
You sound great.
It's
Yeah?
StreamYard and Roll20 together. I can't be on both
Oh wow.
because I can't mute myself on there. Billy can mute
Interesting.
me on his, but I can't mute myself. I've tried 1 billion times over.
And you weren't able to go into the settings and hit that none.
It's the same thing on my computer.
All right, so we shouldn't have any
You can't hear me through Roll20 when I'm muted, right?
Well, what if I? Cause
No,
I
we couldn't hear you.
Hey Billy, can you mute me?
I can't mute you, but I can mute Cassie and me, which I've done. So what if I pulled up StreamYard and she pulled up Roll20?
I just feel like being immutable means that for some reason your audio input is still going and output is still going. Because if you can't mute us, it's probably because we have disabled others can hear or see, etc.
Well,
You know what I
Cassie
mean?
had done
Mute
that, and I
myself.
can mute her.
Yeah, I did that, and he could still mute me.
Right.
I can't
But-
mute
but-
myself. I
right,
don't
but
understand why that's a thing.
Yeah. Right.
But it's never happened before.
Is anybody? You're using a Mac, right?
Uh-huh.
Is anybody else using a Mac?
Nope.
Let me try and pull up StreamYard.
You
She'll
poor
close
piece
hers
of
down,
shit.
and then we'll just flip flop to StreamYard. And
Yeah.
see-
Well, that's poor piece of shit. At least we're not the ones having problems.
yeah, you guys do you, and we'll sort our end. Okay. I'll be back in a second, Nick.
Well,
Okay,
now you
sounds
don't
good.
see my beautiful face no more. Sorry, everyone.
Golly.
No, this is not a fair trade. No, because we're not going to see.
Okay.
It's too bad. The face of the party will have no face. Not a problem.
Crazy.
All right, so
Craziness.
Chris, to bring you up to speed in the last 38 minutes that you have missed. No, I cannot hear you.
No, you're
Well, you
are
have-
you
well, you
backstage?
have-
Is he backstage?
No, he's right there. He just is trying to figure out why no one can hear him, or what is he doing back there? Who knows?
And can you hear us?
He was kicked from the. Were you kicked, or what was the deal there?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. I have no idea what happened. I didn't kick myself. You must have kicked me.
Nope, I did
Yes.
not kick you.
I was messing with all the microphone settings, and all of
Well-
a sudden nobody could hear me talking. I was trying to test it with Cassie again.
I think sometimes when two different applications trying to use the same microphone or the same webcam. Sometimes it will kill one of the application. One of them will kill themselves to, protect from any,
It's super-
nefariousness triggered by, doing something like that on purpose to try to break in, so to speak. So what I was theorizing with Billy and Cassie's audio input is that the fact that she is mutable at all means that her option to speak is through Roll20 is still on, because
Yep.
Right.
he could not mute us when he tried because ours are off. So
Right.
she may need to refresh or press the reconnect button or something in those settings.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, but I can't hear you now, motherfucker.
What?
This is just.
If you can't hear us?
Are we ringing? I can't hear you right now.
You can't? How are you responding to what I'm saying?
Still there?
No, I don't speak Spanish. All I know is how to say I don't speak Spanish. And this phrase
And this-
explaining it.
What? Okay. I'm sorry,
Simpsons
Brian. I don't
stupidity.
speak.
What the fuck is going on? Because
Is that from Family Guy or is that from The Simpsons?
Yeah, I think it's from one of the episodes where Stewie and Brian go on an adventure together. They're in like the back
Honestly,
of
it won't
a.
matter if
of
we
a
even move to
fruit
a
picking
different room,
truck.
because I can't mute myself on Roll20 and then have StreamYard. That's okay. It won't
All right, so can you hear us now, Watts?
So.
there are some technical difficulties on our end, and we're sorting through them. Please go ahead and something's going on with us and StreamYard. You guys go ahead and continue your adventure, and we're going to figure this out.
All
I'm
right.
leaving the whole tavern.
You what?
I was seeing if they heard that.
You know what I want to do? I want to ask Mama.
I've had both of these at
Yes.
the same time.
I'll say, Mama, who do you think Sonny was speaking of when they say someone said to welcome one?
Well, we get folks through here all the time that are from different places, but I don't know. Sonny, come in here, and he comes immediately to the beck and call of Mama, and yeah, Mama, what's up? Who was this gentleman that you said that left a scarf for our friend Juan here? He goes, it was, and then he kind of looks around. He looked a lot like that guy, but without a mustache. And then there was, I don't think he's here anymore.
Can I make an insight check on
Yes.
Sonny to understand what is going on?
Yep.
All right, let's see. And am I good at this? If this applies, ear for deceit, then apply it. Otherwise, if it doesn't apply, because sometimes this ability, even telling the player if it applies, reveals that there's a lie. So I would just say, if it applies, apply it to my roll, and if it doesn't, then don't. Right?
Okay.
There you go.
All
24.
right. So
How
with a
do you
24
like
and
apples?
an ear for deceit. I was gonna say I was gonna give you some information if it was over a 17.
Nice.
So, you can definitely tell that Sonny is not lying and doesn't seem very capable of lying. He doesn't have the wit for it, right? He just says what he sees, which seems to be why he was selected. He's very good at following instructions over a long period of time. Well, let's go with like he's a Hodor type, right? Like
Yes.
he
So
will
he's
internalize even
genuinely-
the simplest of commands. Yep.
Yeah,
If
he's
you would have come
genuinely-
in 3 months from now, he still would have remembered to give you this scarf, right?
Wow.
Uh,
Okay.
but
But
that just
he
seems
would
to be the-
remember other things like who this person was, what their face really looked like, etc.
if he's yes, but he's only been asked, who was it, and he doesn't know this person's name,
Mhm.
or else he'd say it. But the person seemed to be fairly, similar to anybody else that's in here. I mean, look at the icons. They're all of the person that looked a lot like the some of the purplish icons, an older man. You know, you can tell by who he was looking around at that the person that gave it to him was a older male, maybe with a little bit of a whitened but shorter beard.
He's not talking about Silver Fang though, right?
Correct. No.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely but definitely somebody older. And then the other thing that that comes to your mind is, and I think you were there. Who gave you the box? There was a note on it that said "from my friend."
But that was in that chamber.
It was.
Right. Okay.
And for some reason, that thought comes to your mind as you're trying to figure out who the heck this guy's talking about and what the heck is going on.
Will you remind
And
me about the box?
so when you all came out of your stasis of being up there, which I don't
Mhm.
think actually, hold on a second. I don't think that you guys saw the full picture of what that looked like. Oh, I don't have it in here. Okay. So that you were all suspended up in the air getting your powers, and then when you stopped, there was
They're backstage.
Cassie
getting ready
says
to
they're
leave, there was that-
backstage. Please let them in.
there was the box that was a folding boat, right? But
Mm,
on top of the box was here's Alonzi, Agrandir, and what was the last one? But that was actually in a note that had been left behind on top of the boat, and it said, "May this." Oh, hold on. And on the note, it said, "May this gift aid you in your journey." Signed, a friend, and then it gave the
got it.
information there.
Got it. Okay.
And we
One-
figured out it was a boat.
One will sit back, thankful for the explanation. Seems to make sense. And one will click their mandibles twice, click, click, and tell Sunny telepathically, "Thank you, Sunny." And then I'll click, click.
He does not hear the clicking.
Yeah.
He just knows that suddenly somebody was
Mhm.
talking to him, and is it making that connection?
Sure.
Mama, you need anything else? And she goes, "No, dear, no, please go. You're great." And he scurries back into the kitchen, and she turns to him. It's like, "I love that boy like my own son, but he doesn't really have the social skills. But what that boy can do with a skewer of mutton is mwah, and that's what keeps this place going."
Nice. One sits back and drinks their drink, watching over, like pretty much like big bug eyes, insight check, perception checking, like not actually requesting to roll, but I'm like, inside the den of bears and wolves, I'm observing all of 6 of these options, just wide-eyed. I don't think one is the kind of folk to want to jump into them, but one is also very curious to see all of these different situations resolve.
Sounds good.
I have not had a lot of opportunities to be up close with all of the other people on the surface, like the protection of this den allows.
So one thing that continues to happen is that you see individuals that are deep in their cups, and they're moving about, and oftentimes this room over here on the far end of the tavern is often used for people that have found themselves appreciative, of
Mhm.
of the company that they found, and they'll go in there and have a little bit of privacy to engage in behavior that you haven't actually seen before, but sometimes I guess different organisms that like to for some reason suck on each other's mandibles.
Yeah, I think
but
one.
every-
one doesn't like one understands what that is, right? But
Right.
one also understands that that's not for them. You know, even by the nature of how one has their abilities, one is inert, right? So, you know, even if you translated what they're doing into what the arachnids do, one has never been able to do that.
Right. But one thing that is happening is that every time somebody comes over to this door and you know, like tries to find out what, you know, one of the barmaids tries to come in and find out if they need anything, they are pushed away, and it's happened a couple times, and you hear just Silverfang just, anybody comes through this door again, we are having a discussion, and then you hear this eerie voice of this woman, would you sit down? And the door swings back closed, and there's again some whispered tones that are happening inside of this room. And even though Vask is, it seems, not on right now, I think that he would have a difficult time watching Valka, who has interacted, or who's been a friend to him when he's come in and listened to his stories, and knows that he used to be the House Carl of the Bear Clan at like 2 decades ago. What he's doing, actually interacting with a clan that has been responsible for on and off warfare and clandestine raids that they'll sometimes deny any culpability in, and it must have been raiders, it must have been individuals. So there's been this cold war and sometimes hot war happening between the clans. Obviously, Vask doesn't seem too excited about this multi-clan meeting, but this interaction, unless he's able to, are you able to respond?
Yeah, I am. And hey, you might check your text. I think we got a solution here. She's going to keep this StreamYard open, and I'm going to keep a Roll20 session open.
Okay.
Like we used to do with Vera, could you give me DM control of her, and then she can just play my Roll20?
Yep, sounds good. That was going to be my recommendation for right now, especially with it being a not very heavy combat session unless we get through a lot of this stuff. So
Yeah. Sorry, we slowed things down.
Tits.
no, that's fine. I mean, I was just going to say that. Thanks for ruining the night. So
Fuck.
I'm just joking. I'm glad that we got something sorted out too, because
This didn't happen in the last campaign, so nothing's changed. I don't know.
all right.
But
So
anyway.
all right. So we have some ideas of what's going on with the different players. Were you guys able to hear what transpired with One and Sunny?
There's some mandible sucking.
Yeah.
No.
So there was, Sunny came out and said that there was somebody that, and since you're sitting next to him, Vask, that somebody came out and was, Sunny came out and said that, oh, I've got a scarf for you. A gentleman came in here and said that you would need it in order to stay warm, and essentially recognized, one who had been in here before it and had been, this is the person that you're supposed to give it to, and had went back into the kitchen and grabbed it and brought it out to him, but wasn't able to tell who, it was just a nondescript kind of person. What's that?
The soup guy did this?
The soup guy did this. Yeah, he brought One a scarf that he was supposed to give them that somebody told him to give him.
Fuck it. Use magic now. Why not? Okay, cool. We're there. Mm-hmm.
What's that?
I said, all right, perfect. We're there.
Okay. All right. So, with the things that are happening, does anyone have any questions about kind of keying into one of these things that are happening inside of the tavern? By the way, if you haven't heard my lovely rendition of Tipple that is singing right now, it's a little bit funny, this feeling inside. I'm not one of those who can. And you just hear, shut the fuck up. Go back to playing drums, you half-wit. I am not a half-wit. I am half my size. I'm gonna keep singing until somebody tells me they're gonna do something.
Vera's gonna slowly stride over to is it triple or tipple?
Tipple whip string.
Okay.
Nice.
Both of them are there. Tipple whip string.
And there's things that you've
and
actually seen him before.
Right.
And it was the reason why he got sent north was because people were tired of him trying to sing in any kind of environment. But the one thing that he seems to be an absolute master at is percussion instruments. And what's interesting is he's actually gained a lot of respect here in the north because he'll be sent out on raids and in long ship hauls because he's able to help the rowers keep that beat and stay all together. And it's absolutely, imagine Blue Man Group just sitting there knocking out a beat, and it's so much more enjoyable, and it really maintains motivation for anybody that's doing a long seas travel. And he hates playing. He really wants to be able to explore his art of singing and playing the lute, but it's tough for him.
Well, pretty good. Like I said, Vera's gonna meander her way over there and hey, Tipple, how you been, my guy?
Vera, I'm in the middle of a performance right now. I really tried, and he's like looking past you. You're the only person that he can like lift up on his toes in order to be able to see past you, and continues watching as Nara continues to move back and forth and slides past you in order to go to the kitchen, grab another order, and is moving out toward a different side. You can definitely tell that with his attempts to woo this barmaid is definitely his intentions.
Amazing performance so far.
Thank you very much.
2, 3, whatever is better than 1. How about we team up and we really get this show going? Double the performance, double the audience, double the admiration. Let's think about it.
I like this idea. If there's one thing, I was actually talking with another person, and he said that if there is that sometimes females won't be interested in a certain guy unless they can see that he's relationship material. So do you think that you could pretend to be interested in me and maybe make her a little bit jealous? Like we could do a duet that's a little bit saucy, that's a little bit just to get people going, right? Like you said, like to really get people into it. I think that would be really nice.
Talk to him about the mandibles.
Ooh, the mandibles. You know what? I think we can get something going. We can get a little chemistry going between us. Let's see what we can do.
This is so exciting.
Who knows?
Okay.
All right. So go ahead and roll a performance check with advantage since he is providing the help action.
Billy will be doing this for me.
I'm on
Okay. So you roll a performance check for Vera with advantage. Yeah. Okay. So we saved ourselves from the roll of a 2. So the 2 roll was Tipple, and yours was the 18, and luckily you were able to create. So essentially, you like in like in a dance where you can tell that one person can actually dance and the other person can't, and it's just kind of like dancing around them. That's essentially what you're doing with this performance, which Tipple seems to be a little bit like he wanted to be the main, but he's not. But it does have not Natara, who's been moving back and forth. Everybody's starting to kind of gather around and find out who this new person is that's singing, and you see smiles on their faces. Mama is super excited and clapping along. There's some comedic elements to the whole performance. What would be the performance that you are actually doing with Tipple? Is it a solo performance, kind of a
Oh no, it wouldn't be that. That was Tipple. I don't think so.
Okay.
You know, I'm going to use his talents of the drums and my talents of pretty much anything else to get the crowd going. So, but I also know that he is trying to impress this woman. I have seen that. So I am not trying to just basically dance all around him. I am trying to give him a little bit of, the shine as well, as we are performing and dancing. And
so you're singing the Scotsman and he's the Scotsman. So he's
there it is.
he's acting out the parts. Got it. That's what I imagine anyway. All right. So
I'm doing all of it, but I am making him seem like he's shining.
And every once in a while, the reason why there was that 7 in there is because every once in a while he tries to switch over, and you have to like reach out and keep on that drum. Yeah, you're doing it, and then continue with the performance. And so everybody is starting to have a good time, and Natara continues to stop and look over every once in a while and is kind of smiling and nodding, but continuing on about her work. And that's the most attention this guy has gotten from her is a smile and a nod. So he definitely appreciates that. Now this performance goes on for a while. So what is everybody else doing during that time?
Just as a recap, did Craiga come? She came with us, right? Or did she send us as a rep?
Yep. So Craiga came with you, and as soon as you all arrived, Mama was excited to see that Craiga had finally arrived. Glad to hear that she was safe. There was some talk of what had happened and other people that had been there at the coastal attack was also in the movement to the tavern. There's a lot of individuals that are actually outside of the tavern that are there as a there are additional warriors and things like that are all there because of this kind of contentious meeting, but it's part of the whole process. But she took her upstairs in order to let her rest and get ready for the meeting, and Mama went in to talk to Ithia, who was also up in her room, and Ithia came down and then snapped over to Silverfang, who then went to go get Valka, and they're having a discussion in the other room. So yes, Craiga is there, and she is getting ready for the meeting, which is supposed to happen after supper.
Okay. I think that because there were some heated exchanges happening at the village, that Vass is going to move upstairs to speak with Craiga and see if she needs anything and kind of offer his apologies. So I'm heading that way. Okay.
So if you can imagine, because I'm not going to switch over to in the upstairs, there is a long hallway with different doors. Some of them are open, some of them are closed. There is a soldier of the Ursa clan that's standing outside the door, 2 of them, and they recognize you. Do you go up and knock on the door?
Yeah.
I am not to be disturbed. I told you that. What are you doing? And they're like, hey, she's not to be disturbed. Oh, sorry. I thought because it was you.
Right. Y'all correct, that's Vask.
Vask, I am preparing myself for this meeting tonight. Can I help you? And the door doesn't open. You can tell
Yep.
that she's actually a distance from the door.
Yeah. Not feeling like apologizing to a piece of oak. Vask, Ithia has come downstairs to the meeting hall. She's with Valka and Silver Tooth.
The door, you hear footsteps and the door cracks open. You can't see, she seems to be kind of shielding her face a little bit, but you can, if you rolled well on a perception check, you can decide what's your passive perception.
Passive perception. Where is passive perception?
Hold on a second, I'll get it.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, so yes, even with your lower passive perception, you can tell that she seems to be emotional and seems interested. She's usually very good at hiding that, and it seems that when she's alone, she lets more of that out and doesn't want to show that kind of weakness, but. You have sparked your curiosity. Did you say that Ithia is talking to Valka?
Yes, I thought that was strange.
What are they talking about?
I don't know. I haven't been in the room. I didn't want to overstep. Would you like me to go speak with Gothi and go into the room and await you there?
The meeting is supposed to happen in the main hall on the western side. If they are in there, then yes, definitely go in and start to prepare for the meeting.
All right. Out of character, is that where they're at? Sorry, that's kind of.
That is not. They're in the eastern kind of drawing room where private conversations will happen.
I see. No, they're not there, y'all.
And where are they?
They are in one of the private rooms.
I will be very interested in hearing from Valka what it was that they were discussing.
All right. I will speak with Gothi. She has always had a way of getting people to tell them their secrets.
Excellent.
Okay. Do you
All right, so
need anything, Jarl? Are you all right?
I am fine. I would just like to have my supper alone until it is time to have the. I believe we still have a certain turn a turn of the sand. Freaking what are they called?
Hourglass.
Yes, that's what I'm looking for. A turn of the
Sure.
hourglass past sunset, and it is not yet sunset. So I would like to remain in my room until it is time.
All right. Little head bow and turn, and I walk off to find Gothi.
Okay. All right. So when you come back down, and she was across from you at the bar, and you've been watching her continue to work with or continue to play with the cup of what you have seen. She has like these river stones that have markings on them, and she would always pour them out and then look at the pattern that they created and be able to discern and make certain proclamations of what the harvest would be like that year, or what needed to be done in order to help with someone's livestock, or whether or not there would be a storm during a long travel. But what's interesting is, as she's not doing what she normally, instead she keeps looking, and then you'll hear her like, and she's like muttering to it, and then holding it up to her ear.
Okay. And I walk over to her. How are the dice tonight, Gothi?
They are very well, Vask. Yes, what can I do for you?
You seem troubled.
I am.
What's the matter?
Go ahead and do an insight check.
Ah. Oh, that'll be good.
And if there's somebody else that's also paying attention to
Mhm.
this interaction, you can also do an insight check.
Cool.
Am I anywhere near them or no?
I think I'm
So
bar
you are right here at
Yeah.
the bar.
Yep.
And
Right.
so yes, you would be able to observe
that
this
makes
interaction that's happening.
So I will throw in the insight check as well then.
Okay.
Wish she had just eyeballed me
All right.
for
So
version.
So for you, Lothar, you are able to you've seen this kind of apprehension before, and because of your role as a soldier and how uptight a lot of your culture can be as far as having a certain amount of air about you, and that so much of interactions politically can be about perceptions. It's something that's kind of annoyed you maybe as a soldier. Would you say that's
Yes.
true? Okay.
Very much so.
So what you're observing, you're able to pick up on, and that is that she is in a position where she's supposed to know things, and right now she doesn't, and she wants to be able to talk about it, but not with somebody that's in her chain of command. Does that make sense? Like Vask is somebody that usually comes to her for counsel, and she's struggling and she doesn't want to let him in on that, right? But Vask, you don't exactly pick up on that. What you instead realize is that she is
I think
she is
she's
struggling to interpret the will, and that this is a very tumultuous time, and so she is deep in her meditations and the spiritual side that she needs to focus her time on, and that you're interrupting her.
Gothi, I know that these are simultaneous times, but Krega needs us. Valka
Yes.
is speaking with Ithia. This does not seem right to me.
She now kind of drops some of the concerns that she has with her cup, and is now realizing that she did not see this interaction happen. Valka is in with Ithia right now.
Yes.
What are they talking about?
A lot of people have asked me that tonight. I don't know. Perhaps we could go find out. You are the person that tells me these things. I don't know.
So, if we go and interrupt the meeting, then the meeting will stop.
Yes. I understand. Yes.
It's the Heisenberg principle.
Yes. Hymnal. Yes. He's trying real hard to follow on with this.
So
Like,
she says, "Wait."
like,
She says, "Wait." She says, "Wait here. I will attempt to linger at the door, while still working with my divining stones. And this will not seem out of place. So I will move to where I have more privacy."
I brought a
And
rabbit in here. There's a lot out of place.
All right. So she moves away from you and moves over by the door and attempts to look very focused on her stones, which she continues to. After a while, she like is leaning her head, but then she really starts to become concerned with those stones again.
Right. So she went to listen at the door. and
She's
you
trying to, yes,
magic rocks.
correct.
As she walks away, I look over to Vask and I say, is she one of your wise ones?
Gothi?
Yes.
Yeah, Gothi sees things. Yes.
We have similar in our culture.
I
And
doubt that.
it seems like your wise one has lost the touch to talk with the stones.
Oh, she just needs to kill a seal.
I'm just telling you what I observe.
Okay. Well, if that's true, then she can't talk to the stones anymore.
I'm just saying something's changed.
All right, so
At her and it's like she does seem a bit more nervous than usual.
I didn't know if you noticed. You know her better than I. I am not from here.
Nobody really knows Gothi, but good eye. I do still hate you.
Touche.
all right, so from inside of the room that the individuals are in, you hear Silverfang again boom out. Who's ever outside the door? We are having a private conversation. And Gothi looks over at across the way at you, and starts to kind of shuffle away, and moves back toward the bar, and then beckons you to come over, Vask.
Okay. Off I go.
All right. So with the
Nope. You know
hold on a
what?
second.
I have an idea.
Yep.
Who am I sitting with? Is it canonical that I'm sitting and drinking next to Vaskander as the map is, or am I still with Lorathian?
Yeah. We'll say that yeah, you're with Lorathian, and Gothi comes up to the table as well.
Okay. I'll click my mandibles together a couple of times to get the attention of those close to me.
Yep.
And then I'll open a tap with Gothi. So
Yep.
now I can talk to the whole party plus Gothi, and I'll just say one thinks it may be advantageous to take occupation in the room next to the meeting.
Yes.
Oh my. Did she, as you were speaking, then she looks down at her cup again, and she's like she has this expression like it happened again.
Yeah, I'll just click my
And then
mandibles together a couple of times.
realizes that everybody's kind of looking at you as if you had spoken, since they're more used to it,
Yeah,
and picks up on these social cues.
When she looks at me, she sees I'm looking right at her. Big
Right.
bug eyes.
Did we all hear
It's
that?
very
Yeah.
Yeah.
yes,
you
everyone was able to. Says there isn't a room directly adjacent, which is why private conversations usually happen in that room, and I wasn't able to pick
Is
up
there-
on much of. Yes, there is, Chris. I wasn't
Okay.
able to pick up on much of the conversation. Chris, what do you got?
Nice.
Is there somewhere where I can be out of sight?
Actually, there is a restroom to be able to relieve yourself right there on the other side of the wall where your token is. And there is also some critters that like to come in there as well, which has been a problem for some of the patrons getting nibbles on their bum.
I'm gonna wild shape. I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna wild shape into one of those critters.
Alrighty.
I like it.
That's awesome.
Outstanding. So go ahead and give me because you've been moving back and forth and listening in on different conversations. We'll say that you were that anywhere that there's been something of interest, you've popped around. It's a bar environment, so people moving around, listening in on things that are going on. So you've had the ability to be able to listen in on some of these, and you have advantage on perception checks, don't you?
Yep.
All right. So I would say that you've been able to overhear what it is that they're looking for, and maybe even been able to hear Fast's interaction with Krega as well. So can you give me a better understanding of wild shape, since this is the first time that you've done it? You're going to shift into what kind of creature?
Whatever one of the little rodents is.
Okay, and then does this affect your intelligence or anything like that?
I don't
When you
think so.
transform, you assume the beast's hit points and dice. When you revert to your normal form, you then return to the number of hit points that you had before it was transformed. However, if you revert as a result of hitting you use damage, okay. You retain the benefits of any feature from your class, race, or other source and can use them in the new form is physically capable of doing so. However, you can't use any of your special senses such as dark vision unless you also. All right, so you are still Emmerich, but you are just a
Mouse or
tiny
whatever.
hands. All right.
Yeah.
All right. So go ahead and if you want to go ahead and form me, I'm gonna see if I can find a rat,
Well, we're not muted.
and then we will see not a giant rat, just a regular rat. Let me see if
Carrot.
they have a bonus to stealth. Go ahead and just make a straight roll for straight D20 roll for a stealth check. All right. So as you are following the at the level that you shrink down to, you are now able to see from a rat's perspective what some of the passageways are through small crevices and things like that in the walls, and you are looking to move through one of them and get into that room, and you notice that you've drawn some attention, but they are trying to still engage in their conversation. But you notice that Vask has spotted you. You're just a rat, though. However, he may be interested in killing a rat, as many humans are when they see them. So I want you to make another stealth roll to see if you can move away to hide, or you have the option of backing away into a hole where it'll be more difficult to hear. So if you have the option of either trying to make another stealth roll in order to hide somewhere where it's going to be easier for you to hear, or you can have the option of retreating to a position that will be more difficult to hear, but you'll be safe from being spotted or attacked. Which one do you want to do?
I still have the perception on the advantage on perception, so I'll go with the let's not get squished and turn back into a full size and into a rabbit.
Okay, sounds good. All right, so you're coming into the middle of a conversation, and what you hear is that you had heard discussion of Silverfang, and you're not exactly sure which one that is at this point, but but there's a guy with silver hair and a long silvery beard, and you're like, oh, okay, maybe that's Silverfang. But then you also notice that one of the men has a long silver dagger strapped to his waist belt, and so that might also be Silverfang. It's cleared up by Ithia says something to and says Silverfang, and so you're able to ascertain, who's who now in the room, and then Silverfang is telling Valka, is there any danger with this? I don't know that and he's actually talking to Ithia, saying that some danger, and Valka is like, this is not a benefit to anyone. This is instead a curse. It is not a means for you to be able to protect the Wolf Clan. And there's commotion that happens outside, and you're trying your best to be able to listen on the conversation. You can go ahead and do your perception check with advantage. Okay. All right. So Silverfang says something along the lines of something that what do you know of the Dragon Blood line? Because I had two of my men that were attacked by a young boy who was reported to be using the old magic. And now, look, we have these individuals that claim to also be using magic. Is it the return of the bloodline of Kilborn? And the conversation becomes more difficult to understand. Again, Ithia tells them both to shut up, and that let's see, trying to remember what information. So what you are able to glean from the conversation is that there's something that they want, that Ithia wants from Valka, something that he has that would help to increase the strength of the Wolf Clan. And he is unwilling to give it to her because it is too dangerous and shouldn't be, and he's afraid that it would be used recklessly, and that no one in the history of his family has done this, and it has been protected. And Silverfang is also one that is not, he seems very scared of whatever it is that Valka has, but is also talking about the fear that he has of this dragon bloodline. And Ithia seems to be skeptical of the report that Silverfang is giving of this bloodline. And Valka doesn't say anything about or answer any of their questions about the bloodline, and then says, this conversation is over. We will talk about it after. I don't want to talk about this anymore, and the answer is no, and it will always be no, and you know exactly why, and storms out of the room. And the rest of you all see Valka coming out of the room while you're trying to discuss how it is that you're going to be able to get some information. And he almost runs into Vera as he is going up the stairs and into the upstairs rooms.
Is he crossing the stage while I'm performing?
He is crossing the stage. It's very rude.
Very good. Shit. God Damn.
So after he leaves, Ithia says to Silverfang, he's not going to give it to us willingly. We will need to take it. And Silverfang says, so we're going to do it the way that I said we were going to do it anyway. And she says, watch your mouth. And they start to move out of the room, and she says, no, we'll wait here until the conclave. And he stands now there at the door, guarding the door, giving the Jarl peace while she prepares for the conclave. All right, so watching that, Vask and Litharian, actually we'll go back to, we'll figure out what the other characters thought of him bursting out of the door, and give you a chance, Emmerich. What once that's broken up, do you stick around there in the room, or do you head back to report?
Am I able to communicate with one?
Yes, you can. I'll put the details in the chat. So we never broke our telepathy. So
Nice.
one if you're within 120 feet of me at any given time and I turn the tap on, then we're good even if we leave range, as long as oh wait, no.
It's
If
a
we
willing
leave
creature.
120 feet, then it breaks. If either of us is incapacitated or if we choose to break it. So I would imagine you haven't left 120 feet from me.
Doesn't look like it.
Yeah. Even if things distances are doubled, we're still in range. So you can talk to me.
But he's
I'm
very
gonna
small.
stay where I'm at, try to get more information, but I will also relay that
Okay.
to one.
Yeah. At
And
a
I
certain
would say, go ahead. I was
gonna
going to say, even if it was,
you told me to
if
go
you felt
ahead
like you
and then
had
you
that,
kept talking.
that's how I do it. Even if you felt like you had that connection, you could have been communicating while it was happening too.
All right, well, then I'm gonna just stay there, see if I can gain any more information. But definitely, let them know that the Vulcan needs to be kept an eye on because he could be in danger.
It also sounds like they may know more about the voices that one heard. One mentioned Turnarath Kilborn, the bloodline of Kilborn, as meaning magic. One heard this voice, right? When we awoke?
That is true. Yes, you've heard that actually in the first dream. The one that was talking about turning off the magic was Turnarath Kilborn.
One feels we must protect Valka.
Actually, I'll let all of the players know that you won't even have to roll. It would be like rolling a history check for ever of hearing the word Moses, or ever of hearing the word or hearing of the person Moses, or Abraham Lincoln. Like, you might not know much about the person. That might take a history check, but you know of this person being a king during the time when there was the Great Fall and what they called the Age of Kings. Adolf Linkler is absolutely true.
There it is. Now we're talking.
Click.
All right. Got it. All come together. And then
That's
most
exactly what it sounds like when one clicks their manual.
Hitler. Got it.
I'm like,
Vask is moving up the stairs. To,
yes, one follows Vask.
Yeah, from Targ Valka.
One almost like hides behind in Vask's shadow.
Is Valka the one that like ran past me,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. So rude.
Before
No.
as you,
I was just
so
gonna
you're
say,
getting you're getting up to go in and try to follow Vask.
Me?
Did somebody say that?
One did.
Yeah, one was gonna follow Vask, but then Vera
Okay.
was gonna do something.
Okay.
Yeah, Vera was gonna spin around and be like, "Hot damn," and kind of look at Tipple and be like, "What's going on here?" See if he had anything that he wanted to give me about that one, and just the rudeness happened. Let's get some info. Come here, again, Tipple. I've been helping you. We've had a good show.
Yeah.
He gives you he gives you a
Tipple
high
has
five.
gossip, right?
He's got his arm. He's like, "Thank you. Oh my gosh, that was so amazing. Oh, lady, I got all the tea. Let's go. You go sit down with Tipple, and I will tell you all about this place is crazy.
Oh my god! Especially that one. Is it that
Crazy lady with that. Oh my gosh, it's a trip.
Oh my god! Let's end the show a little bit. Let's wrap this up and let's click. Let's talk.
All right. Okay, wait. I tell you what. I'll play and I'll sing you one of my songs.
Oh no!
And
Hold on.
that's how we'll finish.
Hold on. I think I have the best song to wrap this thing out. You know, it's "Let It Begin."
All right. Go ahead. We're gonna have you roll for persuasion, and I will find it here. Let's see if you're able to convince Tipple to go out on a high note, and that it's nice and.
Hold on, I have.
Yeah, you can treat a D20 roll.
Okay. You are definitely able to convince him to go along with your plan. You have a fantastic performance, and you are going to be able to, in the next scene, be able to sit down with Tipple over here at the bar, and he will give you all the tea. All right, one, you're going to follow him up to the room there.
I was going to follow Vaskander.
Okay. So
as
when
as Vaskander goes upstairs.
Okay. Is anyone going with him?
Cool.
I'll just tap the rest of the party and say, one believes we are going upstairs to protect that man, but one is going to hide. And I'll follow Vask, but if I do find a good spot that looks like I can lean against the wall and chameleon carapace and just be hidden upstairs listening to things, that's what one will do.
Yeah, you stay with me, Shells. Let's go.
Well, now that Vask says something, I will go up there because I didn't know what was going on because I wasn't being spoken to.
No, once the connection is open, unless Tom says that one is speaking directly to a person and kind of excluding others, I am making the assumption that he's always speaking to everybody on the channel.
No, what I'm saying is it's not like I knew what was heard in the other room. I don't know what's going on until
that's
one
true.
tells me. That's why I was going with I don't know what's going on. I'm just sitting here quietly drinking my drink.
Got it.
We're rolling up.
All right, so I'm going with as well.
Emmerich, are you staying? You coming with? You keeping an eye?
I'm going to stay there to try to, just in case anything else comes up that I might learn.
There is actually something else that's going to come up.
Uh-oh. Somebody stay around and have my back. Shit.
I don't think anybody's going to touch the bard.
But Vask walks across the stage, kind of bumps across the two bards too, just after Valka did. Out of the way, shoulders.
Motherfucker. But hey.
So one story that has come up or within the interactions in the tavern is that there are individuals who have exchanged harsh words before in this tavern, and they have been kicked out and never to return. Now, there is not very much good food up in the north. Most of it is dried beef and stale bread, but it's enough to keep a hearty people going. This is where they come, and it is one of the only great places of joy and entertainment that they have. And if someone starts to get into a fight, usually other patrons will break it up immediately because they don't want to be if Mama says you're out, and you can never return. Usually, she will kick out the person and that was starting it and the person next to them, and never allow them to return. So individuals do not usually start any type of violence in her establishment or even harsh words. So you're pretty safe here in the tavern, unless there's something incredibly terrible that happens. All right. So as you are starting to move up the stairs to go to seek out Vask, you realize that you can hear in the rafters above him like storming down the hallway and walking back and storming back. And now, as you are starting to move up the stairwell, he is now coming down. And does he? Were you leading the way, one, or you said you were going to kind of hide a little bit?
I was going to say, yeah, Vexcander is leading the way, right? And I'm kind of staying behind, quote unquote, in his shadow. So like when he walks across the stage, just like Valka did, I kind of go around and like kind of apologize in like pantomime, and so I'm behind, and if I see Vask get to Valka or begin talking through a door or anything like that, I just want to find a spot to hide and Chameleon Carapace and just be hidden.
I take it.
And
All right.
for me,
So
I'm not going to hide, but I'm also not walking up on Vaskander. I'm good 6 feet away, and I just lean against the wall and don't even look at him because I know that's just going to bring on a fight.
Sorry.
All right, so you are about to go up the stairs, but he is now coming down. He sees Vask there, starting to come up the stairs, looks at him, says, "It is good to see you. I am glad to hear of your travels. I need a drink. Come drink with me."
All right, we have a lot to talk about.
Oh, it is strange times.
Indeed. I never thought to see you sharing a cup with Silverfang.
The wolves are worse than they have ever been. More misguided, and he's continuing to walk as he's talking, and
The halflings.
looks over toward Silverfang, and that woman is a monster who will get all of her people killed.
But we all know that.
Say, what did you say, son?
I said we've all known that.
I dream that I had your youth again and could be the House Carl. Do you know that when I was House Carl,
Oh boy.
we would go on raiding runs against the Wolf Clan?
Yeah.
And
Uh,
yes.
Why are we talking to them? Why are you talking with Ithia behind closed doors? Tell me plain.
We were here for a conclave.
No. The Jarl was here for a conclave.
Yes, and I thought that I was still going into the role of being a House Carl and being somebody important, and thought that she wanted to discuss with me something of importance, but all she wanted me to do was to obviously betray our clan, and I would never.
How?
What's that?
How did she want you to betray the clan? What did she want you to do?
She wanted me to help train her soldiers. Go ahead and, if you want to, do an insight check.
I already know he's lying to me, right?
Only because I told you to do an insight check.
No, but because
And because, yes, you do know that. Yes, she wanted me to.
don't lie to me.
She wanted me to. I am. He looks at you. I will not lie to you, but I cannot discuss what it was that she wanted from me.
It sounds like a threat to the clan.
It has always been a threat to the clan.
And you think that I shouldn't know?
I think that there are things that are dangerous the more people know.
Does Krega know?
Krega does know.
Do I roll an insight for that?
You can.
Okay. Not that
Yeah. You re-rolled an insight across the room.
Yeah. You go across the room.
Who believes it?
Fuck.
Okay.
Not only do you believe him, you believe him wholeheartedly.
Wholeheartedly.
So what do we do?
No, it's just that you're not certain, but
No. Certainly.
with the trying to there's obviously the situation is complicated.
Yes. All right. Well, plan B. I'm going to order booze.
Let's go.
If I can't insight my way through it, I'm going to get the booze houndy.
All right, and as you are moving over to the bar back where you were with Vask, you watch as Gothi hears the sound of you all talking and gets up and moves away.
Gothi.
All right,
Are they downstairs now?
we are downstairs. We have never left downstairs because I don't have the map for upstairs. So
Right. But like, do they go downstairs now to drink or no?
yes,
Like,
you're going
okay.
downstairs. Yep.
As
If
they
you want to go upstairs and
round for all.
Mhm.
After our amazing show. Just getting everybody drunk.
Nice.
Gonna get a bunch of Vikings drunk that don't like each other drunk.
Can't wait. Let's let the tea spill out. Once you start fighting each other, the words start flowing.
and so
It's true.
there is right behind you two individuals that were participants. These are kind of the finalists in the arm wrestling competition, and they've been doing different. And Valka says, "And who would like to? Is it too late to enter the competition?" And both of them are like, "No, sir. We would rather." And he's like, "I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna embarrass you young folk," and has put on a false air of being a little bit bombastic and just being that overly confident self that he often is, except that he's usually drunk while he's doing it.
Okay. So we're not drinking.
No, he definitely is starting to drink. Yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
where is
okay.
drinking? Fucking ton.
So can I shoulder up to him? It's like, I'll wrestle you for your secret. And I'll buy the maid.
Tell you what, I have heard that you have that I heard a fellow that was there at the house of the Jarl that said that you were able to bellow like a enraged bear and come running at 3 of the demon spawn and took them down single-handedly.
I am very impressive, yes.
There was one of those beasts when it first came out, he told me, that took down 12 of our warriors. One that took down 12 of our warriors, and you were able to take on 3 of them by yourself?
Well, I do have a seal charm.
That is true. But what has happened to you? You seem different.
Well, that's a
He-
story.
I would love to hear it.
Yes. So now we both have stories that each other want to hear.
He turns and he finishes off his mug of ale and says, "What's the deal with this one? The man in the veil." And looks and realizes that it's not a face that's being covered. The seal charm is overpowered. So he is deliberately trying to just avoid the conversation.
This one, he's a mind reader from the south.
Oh, and Gothi has moved away.
Yeah, how far away did Gothi go?
She just went out onto the porch there.
Okay, so I'll just tap in,
Okay.
and I'll say,
So we'll let Vass, you continue to banter back and forth with him, trying to get him to talk to you, and he keeps trying to avoid the conversation.
Would.
Yeah, let the other people do their arts. I've talked enough.
Lara's
And
gonna
then we're
follow
gonna-
Gothi out onto the porch.
Okay, so Lar follows Gothi out. Okay. All right. And she sees you coming and says, "Sorry, I just needed a breath of fresh air."
I noticed that you are having trouble speaking with your stones. How long has this been happening?
Go ahead and do a persuasion check to see if you can convince her that you're somebody that she should
Well,
that she
thank
can
you for
trust. and
giving me
disclose
my
to.
worst thing to try to
Not
do.
my fault. You picked a soldier. You should have picked a fucking. All right. She says, "Well, the fates are kind and the fates are discreet, as they always can be. But are you someone that can divine?"
No. But I've seen others who can.
Do you have the ability to manifest things? I have heard from some of the others that you were able to call down a lightning or a fire that burned these arachnids that were coming to attack. That was
Yes,
you?
I recently not. I didn't call down the fire that burned the one in the hole.
Hmm.
But I do have a blade that burns.
Have you ever seen stones like these? And she holds up her cup to you, and inside are these like river smooth stones of different colors. And she hands you the cup and to take a look at it. And each of them, it seems like there are about, I'd say, 10 stones in there. She says, "Have you seen stones like this?"
Exactly
They each
like
have-
these. Exactly like these. No, but similar. Yes.
Have you
Our
have you
wise
seen
ones have them.
have you seen one of them exactly like this today?
Is this similar to what was pulled out of the tree trunk or no?
No, it is not. It is just it's a small stone that has a rune script on it that you're not able to it's not in a language that you can read.
I have not seen one like that today.
She says, "Well, be on the lookout for it." I am missing one of my stones, and it has me distressed, to say the least.
Where was the last place you saw it?
In my cup, while I was seated, and I have looked all around and have not been able to find it. But the stones actually spoke to me. And you realize that when she's telling you that when the stones have talked to her before, it has never been an audible noise. But when she's saying it now, she's saying that they made an audible noise to her.
What did they say?
It wasn't discernible. It was like I could tell that they were voices, but I could not hear what they were saying. And then it stopped. It was like the babbling of a brook, but I could tell that it was human voices. It was very disturbing. And
That would be very disturbing, especially if you've never heard it before.
she says, "You're not from here, are you?"
No.
I have always been in my clan the one who understood the mysteries. But now there are mysteries that are coming about that I have never. I've actually seen things. No, I shouldn't tell you that. And she turns away and says, "I just need to be alone for right now."
I'll leave you be.
And you see her now continuing to look around on the ground for this missing stone.
And I will
All
walk
right.
back in towards the bar, also watching for a missing stone.
Okay. All right. So you're scanning, looking. You want to go ahead and do a perception check?
Sure.
What are you looking for,
Or-
Lorathian?
Gothi is missing one of her stones that speak with her. It's got a ruin on it. If you spot it, let me
DM,
know.
can I use eye for detail specifically to inform how I am looking for a hidden object?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, nice.
Big bug
right.
eyes.
So what's interesting is he tells you that she's looking for a missing stone, and you remember that when she hasn't been bustling back and forth, that Natara had pulled out of her like apron a small stone and was flipping it in her hand, and then put it away, and just
Do I see Natara?
a fidget. Yep, she's right there where she's at on the screen, talking with Mama about the fact that they are starting to run low on carrots, and Sunny is getting agitated.
I'm just gonna tap to talk to Lathara. And I'm also gonna tap to Mama at the same time. And I'll say, hello Mama. I need to ask Lathara if she has a rock stone that belongs to someone else.
Natara, do you have a stone? And Natara is like, she's trying to still communicate, and she's like, "Is it yours? I found it."
No, it belongs to a friend of mine.
And Mama takes the stone from Natara and says, "You fool of a girl, this is one of Gothi's stones." And she turns and speaks to you as like, "Gothi is a friend of yours. Will you go and give this to her?"
Yeah, I'll
holds it up.
nod. I'll nod, and this is what one does. So I nods and clicks the mandibles, takes the stone, turns to Lorathian, and hands the stone to Lorathian and points to Gothi.
Okay. So, Laura, you now have the stone.
I am going to go and find Gothi. So I walk back out. And
One just sits back down and starts drinking again.
and before I leave, I say thank you for the help.
You're welcome, friend.
And I come out to Gothi and I say, your stone was found by what was the name of the girl?
Chris, the answer is yes.
Okay.
All right.
Your stone's been found.
She grabs it and she's so excited about it, right? And she's like, "Oh my gosh!" If she points and she's like, "See, all of the stones have a matching pair, and I was missing one of the pairs, and it has been killing me." And then the stones had spoken when they did, and she puts the stone back into her cup. And when she does, there is this ear-piercing screech that comes out for just a moment. It sounds very similar to what Cassie and Billy kept having happen every fucking time that they were trying to speak earlier in the session. So that your character might not know exactly what that sound is, but so you won't be able to make too many, but it that is the sound that your character heard. But your character is not familiar with terms like feedback.
It sounded like lightning that was angry.
Something. And she looks down, she's like, "Did you hear that?" She looks at you, "Did you hear that?"
I did.
And then she looks around and sees that many people are all kind of, she's like, "This is most strange. Thank you very much." And she leaves with the stones and goes into a corner and starts to pour them out and separate them into their pairs. And you can see her again continuing to try to talk to them.
And I return back to the bar.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and Chris, if you want to share the information that you are getting right now.
Does anybody speak a language that might not actually be spoken on this plane?
So only if we're talking telepathically. If I tap you, then we don't need to share a language for me to understand what you're saying. But I think it implies that you need to understand what you're saying. So if you're just like repeating something from a weird foreign language, one would not understand it. But if you were thinking something in that foreign language to one would understand it.
Because the other Jarl, or whatever she goes by, from the wolf, sounds like she's still talking, but not in any language I understand. And considering we understand all languages spoke on this plane.
Yeah, sounds like.
I think I do.
Are you? So you're still in the other room listening to her do this, right?
Yep.
Okay, so one will relay to the rest of the group. Emmerich is hearing the other Jarl speak in a language that one does not understand. Emmerich believes this could be dangerous.
Very.
Can we speak back? Like what language?
He doesn't.
I don't know.
I think Emmerich is implying that they are using some kind of evil language as part of a ritual.
I don't know the languages.
And actually, Emmerich, when you're listening, although you can't understand what she's saying, the cadence of it is not like one of la 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 la, and like she's doing some type of incantation.
Mhm.
It's more like alabara, jedidabara,
Like she's having a conversation.
no, dikada, arakajara. Yeah, it sounds like in the times that she's pausing, that somebody's also talking to her, because there'll be long pauses, and then inflections of like questions.
Hey,
But-
DM,
Yeah,
is she speaking into the stones to Gothi? Can I try to insight that?
yeah, you can try.
Unlucky.
So while trying to figure out what it is that might have been happening there, you're thinking about the stones, but you also realize, because you have the ability to hear and pick up on things, that that sound, that what she communicated of like it being a babbling and a brook, and not being able to hear, that the conversation of this tavern has that same kind of quality.
Okay.
The murmuring of all the conversation that's happening around you, unless you key in on it, it's not very it's not distinguishable. But what you don't see is that Gothi has heard any kind of communication, or heard anything from the stones while Ithia has been in there talking. So it doesn't seem like she's talking to her, or to try to talk to her. All right. So does anybody else have anything, or else I'm going to do some stuff with Vera and Tipple?
How long have I been doing this? Like been in a mouse?
I don't know. We'd say 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
Yep.
I just want to make sure I'm not encroaching on the hour.
What's the time limit that you have?
Half my druid level rounded down, so an hour.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. So you wanted to get some, or you're gonna get some tea with, and the other players can also be around with to be able to listen to Vera and Tipple having their dishing of the tea. Vera, what are you most interested in? It's like, okay, so what do you want to know about this place?
I mean, honestly, what do you got to give me? I mean, well done. I think this was a great show, don't you? Like, great.
I do. It was so nice to not be to Vera, you don't know the kind of stuff I've seen. I mean,
I know. I get it. Let it out.
they have made me use my art as a tool of death and destruction.
That's
You have
not
any idea?
for.
I know that's not what I'm about. I want to bring love. I want to bring happiness, and then it's like, oh, blow the horn, so that way we can tell the left flank to move forward and intercept. And it's like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do that, but if I don't, they'll beat me.
Come here. Bring it in.
It's been
It's okay.
hard.
You'll be all right. Oh.
Yeah.
Breathe it in. It's all right.
Thank you. This really helps. Is she looking?
She is looking. I think we're making out worse. Don't worry. I think.
All right, pretend that you're making out with me.
Okay. All right. Another big hug. We got this.
What is
All right.
All right.
All right, Natara has not really been.
It feels good, doesn't it?
Natara has been curious, but yes. Okay, go ahead.
So, on those trips or recently, what has been going on out here? I mean, there's got to be. I get a feeling, and I feel like you have had that feeling, and maybe they've told you some things, or you've heard some things.
I don't know a lot of the things that they don't want me to know, because like as soon as so it the Wolf Clan,
Hmm.
they haven't, so it all started out with them like helping to ship things around. That's what we used to think about what the North would help out with, is they had the awesome ships, and they'd be able to move around cargo between the we haven't even established the names of these places, so we're just going to say the Eastern Isles down to the Dwarven coast, but the Eastern Isles have actually built up their own navies, and they're not taking any more work. And Silverfang, he doesn't even try to ship stuff anymore. He just goes and he takes it. And the reason that this hasn't gotten out yet is because he doesn't leave anybody behind.
Oh,
So the Eastern Isles are probably thinking, where did all our people go? Oh, it must have been the sea monsters. Oh, and by the way, Vera, do not ever play a stringed instrument while out on the seas. I gotta tell you, you're not gonna be happy with the results. All right.
what'd you do?
Well, they wanted me to beat the drums, and then I was like, but I was sad, and I wanted to play a little song to make myself feel better. And then we had to toss a man overboard as bait, so that way we could make our getaway. And I saw the sea swell up, and I wasn't looking because I had my face hidden, but the sound that I heard come out of that creature, I don't know how big it was, but I would say that the only reason that we were able to get away is because we gave it some lunch.
So they believe that because you were playing music, it came.
Yeah, they had told me not to ever play my music. I think that it's kind of a known
So
thing.
it's gotta be quiet. Do you even play
Yes,
drums?
but the
Like,
drums, because
drums are
the
fine?
drums,
Just-
the drums are fine, the horns are fine, but anything that I guess playing a stringed instrument will create some bad effects. So I've
Yeah.
warned you. Now you know.
Oh, appreciate that. I mean,
You
I don't
bet.
want to be on the water at all, anyways, but the more knowledge that we have as people, anyways, right?
Oh
Gotta
yeah.
share everything that we know between each other.
Yep. So what are you up to?
Miss Sarah, anything else that what is it about her?
About who? Oh, about her?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that she's amazing.
Oh, all right. Just wondering, figured I'd wonder what it was about her. So is there anything else that I should be weary about while I'm here? Because we got to keep each other safe.
Okay, well, so about her, all right. She seems like she's just a nice girl, right?
Mm,
But when
cute as a button.
but she is, but she also, I follow her sometimes, and I found out that she has a pet direwolf. Who has a pet direwolf? That is like, oh my gosh! When I found that out, I was like, oh, she's got layers.
Gotta run. That thing's like twice as big as us. Like, what the fuck?
I know. I could like ride it like a large horse, but I wouldn't, because it would probably
settle
bite
on
me.
that. We'll be fine.
So yeah, she's super cool though, but she's chill. I mean, I just like her.
She's chill, but she's got a dire wolf. All right.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird. Yeah, I
Fine.
guess that part's weird.
What about anybody else here? I mean, I feel like I'm tipping toeing all around this place, and as much information as you can give me. I feel like, let's put on another show again, but like, I gotta be safe.
Okay, so the most dangerous person here is probably that weird lady that I was talking about. So
Okay.
she is she's fucking creepy. I mean, I thought the Gothi was creepy because she's always like talking to herself, and she'll have like the the freaking
Image.
dreams and stuff. And
right?
she like she one time told my future, and she said that I was going to I was gonna die by sea serpent, which scared the shit out of me because. But I understand. Okay, so, but that Ithia lady,
Mm-hmm.
she killed her own mother. I mean, you talk about a cold-blooded bitch.
Damn.
Well, and that's the thing though. What's weird about their culture is that a Jarl is the mother of all, right? So they can't have children. And they're supposed to if they find themselves,
How is it her?
what's that?
Sorry. Quick question.
So, yeah,
They're not allowed to
go
have children. How did she kill her mother to become the Jarl?
right. Because she found out that she was raised by I don't remember his name, but
Okay.
the biggest bastard in the world, right? This guy, I mean, he makes Silverfang look like a nice guy, right? And that was who raised her. But
Damn.
she found out that she was actually the secret love child of the previous Jarl, and that she had been given up as a prize to this guy as an infant, and he had done nothing but torment her entire life. And when she found out that she was actually the that her mother had given her away, and that she was a bad Jarl for ever having had, she then decided that she was going to exact her revenge, and she beheaded her mother in front of the entire tribe while accusing her of the crimes, made her mother admit to it, and then cut off her head, and then said that she was now the Jarl and that things were going to go her way. And she's scary.
Scary.
Yeah, because one person was like, I don't think that, and then she went up and she chopped that person's head off, and she said, does anybody else disagree? And
No one would.
everybody else started falling in line because they realized that the Jarl had made, but it's just like, oh my gosh.
My gosh,
She's
would
crazy.
you disagree? Would you? No way.
I'm not a chance.
My God. Well, that's a lot. I feel like that's there's some stuff going on there. But I'll buy you another. Let's have another drink because whoo, heavy.
Sounds good. All right. So you continue drinking. It is getting close to time for the conclave to actually happen. And is there anything else that you want to do before that meeting?
I'm good.
All right. So as you are preparing for the meeting, Frega does come down and comes up to you, Vask, and says, "Thank you for giving me my privacy. When we go into this meeting, I would like you to sit next to me, and also for the rest of your companions to be able to join us for this meeting. Would you all be willing to do that?"
Yes, I will, and I'm sure they will. They're a nosy bunch.
Where is the long-eared fellow?
He had to step out. He will be back shortly.
Okay.
Being nosy bunch.
I got that. Nosy.
All right, and she turns to Mama and she says, "And we would ask you to take the position of arbiter as a neutral party, and Valka, you can attend the meeting as well." And where is Gothi?
She's been all over the place. Her rocks are talking to her.
She's out on the front
We're
porch.
never going into this meeting.
Got it. All right.
Can I come in running in with like 2 handfuls of guns?
coming. I swear I'm coming. I got another one for someone else.
All right, so you come into the meeting. If there's nothing else that anybody wants to do, Emmerich, are you going to stay a mouse, or are you going to go back into the bathroom and transform again?
I'm gonna change back.
All right.
Where
So-
is
I'll for you to be a mouse, like hang out.
where's
on my
Silverfang?
I'm only through
Silverfang is still been outside the door, pulling guard on the private room for Ithia. And Ithia talked for a while, Emmerich, but she has been quiet for the vast majority. It was maybe a minute and a half conversation that she had.
Okay.
So I'll just before the meeting begins, I'll just communicate to the party. One's suspicion, remember, is that Valka is going to be attacked after the meeting.
I'll stick close to him. But if I get pulled away, will somebody watch him?
I'll watch.
One will keep eyes on him.
Attacked?
Thank you.
Do we all
All
know
right.
this?
He just-
Okay.
Yeah, you do. At least you do now. I think you were in the middle of performing.
By the way.
Yeah, but
You've been singing your heart out. I mean, there was by the dashboard lights. It was crazy.
one makes sure that Vera is all caught up. So one would explain to you that
Got a smile on her face 1 minute and then
Yeah, right.
oh shit.
She was 6 minutes into November Rain, and you really
The rabbit was a rat and heard that Valka is going to be attacked by Silverfang and Jarl. Yeah.
Okay, got it.
All right, so the I don't know. Well, we'll go ahead and put tokens in the room. So if you want to go ahead and move your token, I can move anybody that wants to be moved into the room.
Yeah, what room are we in?
Sure.
So we're in this room over here.
Oh.
Da, 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 da.
Go ahead, move me.
Did I move? Screen jumped.
Oh,
Is
no.
it a window or a door?
Oh, it's
There
the
we go.
chair. I'm trying to.
Nope.
That is a window. Yes.
Okay.
I'm 3 feet tall. I'm up, right up on your lap.
Wow.
Climbing up on desk, like,
gonna
hi. This doesn't seem this is the safest place I can be. I'm literally sitting on Bask's lap. By the way.
I'm gonna need to be able to
It's okay.
use it. I'm gonna be able to have a free axe, if you know what I mean.
Nope, I'll jump right off. Not yet. Coming back on the table. I don't care. Gonna need you by my side. But I
Okay.
can't get by your
By
side.
the side.
Mine right on top.
Okay.
All right. So there is everybody's starting to come together, and then there's
Together.
some talking and joking. Ithia is walked in and has that kind of wraith-like walk that is just a little bit disquieting, and she looks like a combination between a queen and like the girl from The Ring. All right, as she's moving through, and sits down, and then Mama taps the gavel and says, in this place there is no violence, there are no harsh words, only the one that has the stone of speaking will be allowed to speak, and all will hear and all will be able to respond. And this is how the conclave begins. And she turns over the stone to Kriga, who has called for the conclave. And Kriga stands, collects herself. We have seen an ancient evil that has risen, and I have seen it with my own eyes. The seat of our great clan, the Bear Clan, and you hear kind of a scoff from Ithia, would have been laid to waste if it was not for these group of warriors that came to my aid. The creature had already killed 24 of our best soldiers. These demons cut through them like a sharpened sickle would go through wheat and cut them all down like they were nothing. But these warriors possessed capabilities that have not been seen since the era of kings and the magic of fire and ice. And they have returned at the same time that this threat has returned. But it is not a threat against the bear or the wolf, but for all of Hathwatha. And she looks over at Gothi. And we have had dreams that have told us of the events that are coming, and they are filled with claw and fire and danger. And I have been told that you, warriors, have seen dreams and portents of this danger, have you not?
Yes.
I would like to give the speaking stone, and she has this, was used as the gavel for Mama, but that whoever has the stone is essentially the one that is able to speak, and she holds it out to a nondescript individual. She knows that she's not holding it out to Vask yet, but unless he tries to take it. But you have faced this danger, and I would like you to try to communicate it to this group and to help them understand what it is that we are facing. And if you know of any possible remedies to save not only the North, but all lands.
Yeah.
And she holds out the stone, looking to see who it is that would take it and speak on behalf of the group.
So Vera is already on Vask's lap, and she kind of
Reaches across the table. All right.
reaches across the table as far as she can, almost grabbing it, and a little bit more, and grabs it. And
All right. You have the stone.
I have not faced these creatures quite as much as the group that I am with. But being with them, I know that this is something that we cannot do alone. And we all have to come together in order to face this evil.
Why has Frigga, because everybody's able to respond once the speaker takes a pause, right? But they can't interrupt.
Oh, let me pass it back.
What is the
Anybody else want to help us? Like, who's coming here? We need help.
What has caused the evil to arise now?
Shit, if I know.
Is that what you say? Because that's awesome.
I might pass it over to somebody who's like looking at them, roll it onto the table, like, hey, somebody go ahead and grab this thing and say no.
What's great is that just like you don't have to actually shoot a crossbow in order to show that you can shoot a crossbow. If you want to go ahead and make a roll of either perception or intimidation or whatever it is that you're trying to communicate, and then let me know what it is that you're trying to what intent you would have with whatever you want to say.
Can I do?
You don't have to role play all of it, but you can make a roll for something that you.
What was it, like a knowledge check or intelligence or something to like play my little my mandolin?
You could play your mandolin, but what for what purpose?
Because I know he knows something that I don't know.
Well, actually, you were playing your mandolin quite a bit during the performance, and I.
All right.
But I will tell you that if if you would have been interested in checking in to see if he was able to hear you, that connection is still there. He's like,
No, but he can.
as you were
always
getting
hear-
done, he actually told, yeah, that wasn't bad.
I
So,
thought he can always hear
and
me,
you can
but-
speak to him, in your mind too.
Okay. Yeah, but is he gonna give me anything right now?
Okay, what do you ask him?
He can hear everything that's happening. You got a little more information that's going on. I can give the group and the party to help us continue on.
Are we
Um,
speaking in our mind right now?
No,
Yeah.
she's speaking.
I'm
Not
seeing
even one.
Albert, but like I'm hearing.
One can
it.
hear her side of the conversation, but nobody else can hear what she's being told. But Silas tells you, you have to understand, I was alive 3,000 years ago, and you are the first person I have talked to since. This evil was starting
So
when
sweet.
I was entrapped. So I don't know exactly what's going on, except that magic is coming back through, it seems, the five of you. And
Really?
it only makes sense that whatever has
The
what has
magic
woken.
through us? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
What's that?
You say the magic is coming through us, back through us, or do we getting magic because magic's coming back and now we can tap into it?
So what you understand. So what has been communicated by the Gem of Tranquility is that C is failing to be able to hold back magic, and the reason that you can kind of understand that the intent was to stop the Hive Queen from being able to use magic,
Mm-hmm.
and she is starting to fail and slip in that, and so therefore her remedy to that is to awaken all of you to be able to try to meet the threat that is coming.
Can I tap into Vera real quick?
Yep.
Oh.
Okay. So so I'm just talking to you and not the rest of the party even now, right? Everybody's been really nice to me and I love the party, but I'm just going to talk to the person who is best suited to say my message to the group. I'll just say, Vera, one is not the right one to speak and deliver the message. One thinks you are the one who can get this point across. There is an other who is the Dark Hive Queen. One knows in one's being this is her doing. The bugs that attacked the totem, that siphon bug, bright and colorful, it drained magic from the totem pole. One believes it is bringing this magic back to the Dark Hive Queen.
Well, now that it's clear.
Ooh. Well, this is
Please,
more than I thought it was.
please deliver one's message in a way that does not
One,
get
I
one
will-
killed.
I will do my best to deliver this message.
Click, click.
All right.
So Vera's gonna look out at the party here and say, the dark magic has come back. There is a reason that we have all come together in order. There's a reason that we all can feel this, and we need to continue grouping together in order to fight this. This dark magic has come back. There is something that we still don't know, maybe, that we need to continue to fight and move forward. But it is a definitely a dark magic, and we need to work together. And there is something wrong with a totem that we need to.
I believe what she's trying to say is, when they attacked my village, they,
Mama stands up and says, "Do not interrupt the person with the talking stone. You
she's
can
sitting on my lap.
respond."
While we were
Check your privilege.
You're like,
via contact the stone from her. All right.
go ahead. Here. There's kind of like a fall. There you go. You've got it now.
All right. Now you may speak, Mask.
And what did he tell you? The one said.
Oh,
that-
I'm
that-
sorry. Did you just not interrupt me and you need to tell everybody else about this totem?
So when they when they attacked my village, I believe they did something to our totem. The bug creatures that came from underground.
Hey, that's not what we're gonna say. Okay, go ahead.
All right. So we'll take a break from active role playing, and everybody can explain what they think is going on and what needs to be communicated in this meeting, and then we'll have Cassie roll a persuasion check or an intimidation check, or for how well she's able to communicate the collective knowledge of all of what the players
I
understand.
don't want to say anything about bugs.
Why? We know
Right.
about-
So
A little
so
bit.
Don't get me killed.
all
Dang,
right, even out of character.
one killed, motherfucker. Come on.
So out of character, what do you think that Vera needs to communicate on behalf of the party? Let's go ahead and start with Chris, because he hasn't spoken a lot. Chris, what do you think needs to be communicated to this conclave?
Well, Emmert would be thinking that he saw in the vision that the wolf and the bear need to unite, but he doesn't trust the two in charge of the wolf. So he's not sure he should let them know about the shield that can protect everybody.
Okay,
I'm not
so
entirely sure.
he's so there would be that something important is probably that there is a vision of one of the ways to meet this threat is for the wolf and bear clan to be working together, but that you don't trust, especially Ithia,
Yes.
to be the kind of person that's going to actually unite things.
Yeah, after her conversation with somebody that he couldn't see in a language he didn't understand. Yeah, she.
So almost that there seems to be some dark forces within that are a threat as well.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Did a good job with that one.
Jenkins, do you have anything that you think would be important to bring up in this meeting?
I think we should bring up the part of the vision where the totems with the magic are what defend the cities from this evil, and that without it, the cities will fall. At least that's what I remember from the vision. I'm pretty sure.
Right. Okay. And then
that we lost
Cassie,
one totem. Obviously, I don't know if there's multiple on the land or what, but I think it should be brought up.
Yep. And who is carrying that stone?
I wasn't allowed to touch it anymore. I'm pretty sure
Right.
Vask got it.
Vask still has that stone, right?
Yeah.
Before coming into this meeting, do you think that you would have looked at the stone at all?
Truthfully, before I thought I'd given it to Craiga, so I haven't role played with that much. But if I do have it, I'm sure I would have looked at it.
Okay, so I think we'll say that we can retcon it to even if it didn't happen that you wanted to have given it to Craiga.
Okay.
Because she was going to have Gothi also take a look at it, right?
Does
That was
Varen
kind of the intention. All right, so
coming in late? Does Varen know that?
Sure.
okay, yeah, this is what's happening is we're all
Who I'm asking.
creating a
Like,
collective
they were
collective
honest.
understanding.
Yeah.
Yep. So we're just kind of recapping right now because if it was actually happening to you, it would be much more fresh in your memory than just this collection too. So it also can be where it's what everybody's picked up on, and for me to be able to find out if there's any gaps.
Something.
All right.
You have it, or you gave it
Billy,
away.
anything else that you think is important?
I think that knowing who Vask is, he probably doesn't understand the overarching scheme of this beyond something.
Nope, not Vask. You as a player, like what would you want if you could be the bard, which Vera is, and could be the voice? What kind of stuff would you want communicated?
Yep. I would think that trying to explain that an attack happened that wiped out a large portion of really good soldiers, and it didn't seem like like that was the main push. That was just like maybe a scouting attack, and that there could be something worse coming. And in order to defend against that, people either need to work together, or if not unite, at least work together and stop fighting each other.
I don't
Right.
know if like Vera would even know that though. Like we
That's-
all know that happened.
Yeah, you know
Right,
that.
but so what?
But as a non-military background, Vera can't be like it's a push. It's like a first
Right,
attack.
that may not be how you communicate it.
Want
but-
me to know, but like I don't
Right,
know if
right.
Vera can even know that.
Sure.
Right, but Vera is going to communicate it the way that Vera communicates it. What's nice though is that because you've picked a character that is high in charisma and has these skills,
Okay.
you don't actually have to play it out for it to be effective. So right now what we're doing is we're building what your speech is going to contain based on the collect. All of the players put together equal Vera's ability to actually articulate this in a grand way that either is going to be an epic fail or it is going to be a rousing success. So Jenkins, did you gave input? Tom, did you have any input about anything else that we're missing? Because you said that the siphon bugs bring the stuff back to the Dark Hive Queen. Anything else that you think is?
Yeah, there were two
I
things.
don't know if I
wanted
can
to
say
touch.
that in a nice way without like being like
You don't have to. All you're gonna have to do is roll it. I'm gonna tell you how awesome it went.
I would also mention, one would say, in addition to the fact that the siphon bugs took magical energy from the totem and then left, probably bringing it to the Dark Hive Queen. One also wants to communicate when they were traveling in the north, the magical resistance that prevents one's kind from entering these areas was very weak in the north. The shielding itself, the glyphs of protection that stop one's kind from being able to enter these places, is not working appropriately in the north.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, I think that everyone else touched on things that one would want to make sure was mentioned, but the glyph, we all saw it in our dream. The glyph of shielding in the north is one doesn't know if it's broken completely, if it needs to be repaired, if one just believes that the size of the shield of protection around this area, the north, is no longer large enough to protect all the clans.
Yep.
Without the clans coming together.
And both Emmerich and Vera believe that they have enough innate knowledge from what abilities they have to be able to find where the glyph is and to be able to figure out how to fix it. That's information that you'd be able to get from you believe Silas believes that he'd be able to figure that out. So with this discussion right here, this is essentially retconning you all, while you were there at the tavern, and enjoying the evening and the boat trip that you took in order to get here. Like, what the fuck was that? And the discussion that would have been happening on the car ride to the next location. And hey, we're going to be going into this conclave. Are they going to ask? And Vera would be interested in being able to speak for the group. So she's been gathering all this information. So Cassie, if you could, or if you have access to your sheet, or I can do it for you, to roll whichever kind of charisma based check you would like to. If you want to communicate it as
Your persuasion.
as how much of a threat you're facing, then you could do like an intimidation check. If you want to convince them all that they need to work together, or how grave the threat is, a persuasion check, whichever's.
Before she rolls,
Yeah.
did we get a long rest after the fight?
You have not had any time to rest, except for a short rest. I could
I was asking
be persuaded of.
I got spells back.
Nope, not yet.
Okay, never mind.
All right.
You go. Okay.
Yep. All right. So
How did I do that?
So Vera does her training for the speaking stone, stands up and addresses everyone
Probably
there.
on top of the table so everybody can see me, right?
Yes, and the way that you do that too, whereas it might seem rude, it is met with pleasant smiles from both Mama and Kriga, but obviously the other side of the table wants to speak up about how rude it is to be standing on the table, but they read the room, and the way that you are able to eloquently put this speech together, you communicate the grave threat that is happening, that this is just the beginning, and that there's going to be more to come, and that none of the current defenses that you have are going to be able to withstand these creatures, and that you all have been specially tasked to be able to help protect not only this nation but other nations, and that you're going to do everything that you can to help with that, and that you actually know of that the North has been strong in defending itself against the beasts of the wild, because the other nations have actually had an advantage, and you have discovered the knowledge of protection fields that protect the other realms but don't protect this one, and that is what has made the North so strong. And you're just buttering them up the entire time while you're talking about this, and even Silverfang is starting to nod in agreement, and you're winning him over. Valka's ready to go out and fuck shit up right now. He's just super excited about the speech that you're giving, and that the only way that this is going to be resolved is for the Bear and the Wolf clan to be able to work together, right? Would that be the wording, or how would you phrase what you want the Wolf and the Bear clan to be able to do?
Wolf dies in the winter.
Tell them we must be one.
We must hold hands and be one
right.
out together.
So you finish off the speech with like this this building of intensity, and then that the be able to unite, and you pause, and everybody's about to start to,
waiting for the bard to give their last little note.
but nobody's at this point really responding, and Ithia starts to laugh.
She does.
Oh, Kriga. I feel like this was a rousing speech, but I still don't understand, other than the words
of this incredible performer who has told us of these dangers, but in reality, they seem to have only been a threat to the Ursa clan. Have there been other attacks, Fair Halfling? Have there been any other attacks here in the north, or just the one?
She talking to me? Does it matter
Yep.
if it's just the one?
Well,
What
it
you saw, there will, if it doesn't matter if it was just the one. We need to be prepared and do anything that we can for that not to happen again. If it's just the one, fantastic, wonderful, everything's copacetic. But if it's not, how do you feel moving forward? Prepare. How do
she
you
looks
not
at
prepare for if it's not just the one?
she holds out her hand and looks at Mama. May I have the stone? And Mama says, and Mama makes a motion
You
of,
already talked, so stone away.
she responded, but now she wants to be able to talk uninterrupted for a moment, and then you'd be able to respond.
Okay.
So do you roll the stone over, or do you walk it over across the table?
Kicking glasses.
Well, I have to watch a little bit because I think rolling it, depending on how far she is, I just. Ugh, there you go.
All right.
I'll kick it at the end.
I understand. You think that we should come together as one large clan. However, you do not know about the attacks that have happened between our clans and the dangers of being the first to lay down arms. And perhaps, though, this is as great of a threat as you claim it to be. I mean, a dozen soldiers dead? But that's what soldiers do, don't they? They die in the service of their clan. It's a dozen dead is nothing but a failed raiding party. Now, the Ursa clan, though, I understand, Freyga, why you would have so much heartache over a dozen soldiers dead. You've never really had the stomach for bloodshed, but you have forgotten the strength of your totem. You now lie on the floor like the skin rug I have in my court.
Am I?
But the strength of the wolf is in our pack, and we are strong. The bear sleeps during hard times. So I understand if you are begging for the wolf clan to come and be your source of protection, we gladly offer you our protection, and we do not cower from this threat. And she rolls
Can I have
away
the stone
the
back,
stone.
please, or respond? I'm not a part of any clan. That is.
She was speaking mostly to Krega, and
get
seems to
that.
be trying to undermine the speech that you gave. So
We
you can
understand the undermining here, but you were not there. Raise your hand if you were there.
I was there.
You're allowed to speak now. Ithia, you are not. And I can say that because we saw what happened. And if we cannot come together, we're all done. That's it. Done for. We're done. Pack up your bags and actually don't. Just sit and wait. It'll happen.
Free go.
We have to fight this together. You didn't see it. Do you want to come see it?
Frigga raises her hand to ask for the stone.
I don't have the stone. Ithia does. I was responding to her.
Okay, you were responding. So she
Yeah.
picks up the stone from where it rolled away, and she says,
Rolling.
"Ithia, we are definitely not asking for your protection. We are asking to not have two enemies to fight, and we seek no other partnership than peace. And when she's done, Valka immediately gets up and says, and what about the rumors of the dragon bloodline? And both Kriega and Yarithia have a reaction to that. And that was something that you had overheard, Emmerich. Ithia responds, shut up, Valka. And she asked for the stone back from Kriega, and Kriega gives it to her. And she says, okay, I have a question. Vask. And she looks over at you, Vask. This is Ithia. Did you find these creatures difficult to defeat with your axe?
I found them much more difficult to defeat than any member of the Wolf Clan I have faced. I do not ask for your protection, and yes, the bear may sleep during the winter, but the bard is right. The lone wolf dies in the winter.
I remain unconvinced. I believe it is the Ursa clan that is being targeted, and you should have Gothi over there read her stones and find out what it is done that you have done to disrespect your ancestors, that this attack has come to you. And she drops the stone and she says, but I do not see any reason why this meeting needed to be called, and I wish you all luck. And she begins to get up, but there is a commotion that is heard inside the tavern, and Sunny that is yelling and screaming for Mama. And Sunny bursts in carrying a wounded Wolf Clan soldier who is stammering, and everybody's just looking at him. And I need to talk to Ithia. They're all dead. 100 soldiers. And he's spurting blood, and you can see gashes across his chest, and he is near death. They're all coming. They're all coming. They're coming here. They'll be here in 3 days, and we're all dead. And because of the time, that is where we are going to end tonight's session.
Look to my coming on the dawn of the third day.
All right, so
fucking told you so.
all right, so I'm going to end the broadcast of the recording.